Hey, what's up? I'm Batarog, and this is Red Dirt Farm Cacti and Euphorbia. Recently, I've had a little bit of a tidy up. I put this little table and crate in the corner, as per the last video. I've got a few Euphorbias in here. Starting with this, it is Euphorbia Greenway. This one's Euphorbia Nuthy, Knuthe. Knuthi, sorry. This grows a bit of a Caudax, which in time it'll be nice to display. Here's a couple of the Flanaganii or Medusa Euphorbias, which it's nice to have them, be staged in their own space in a nice bright corner. And I gave them a trim as well. Some of the leggy under branches, I trimmed them off. Here we have the Euphorbia lactea variegate, and then down there we've got the Euphorbia aeruginosa. So here's a geez, I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's either Hoodia or Stapelia. It's quite nice, quite healthy. Very nice to see what sort of flowers it has. I think it might have the tiger stripe bulbs. I'm not too sure. Here's a Hulk balls that yesterday I grafted to a Pachanoi. It's because the main plant wasn't looking too hot, so see what happens there. So far so good, I think. I think the graft is looking okay. So there's the Pringley, Pachysarius Pringley. This Scopia that was propagated from my big scop in the ground out there. After propagating it, it exfoliated a little bit, so I chopped the top off and we'll get some branches. There's the big Euphorbia pseudocactus, which I much prefer in that back corner now. Before it was over here where the Euphorbia anlopa is, with these red spines. There's Euphorbia mammillaris variegata. There's a couple of seed grown Polygonas, maybe Polygona Herida cross. Here are my Heridas, quite old now, maybe 3-4 years old at least. There's another one, and there's my Polygona. We had a very cold morning this morning here in Western Australia. Apparently it was the coldest recorded morning in 7 years. But everything in the greenhouse seems to fare just fine. I just don't water things until they're completely dry. There's the Euphorbia japonica. Zoom in a bit. I like him. I like Caudax plants quite a lot. There's the Sulco Robusha Roshi grafted on a Perisciopsis. The snails and stuff love to chew on these. I'm constantly having to make new grafts. Here's my Euphorbia enormous. One of the main reasons that I wanted to move things into the corner was just free up some space so I can enjoy what I have. It's not a great thing when everything is just jammed in together on top of each other, and you kind of lose the beauty of things just in the clutter. These are grown from seed, roughly 2 or 3 years old. Euphorbia enormous. I have 3 grown from seed. That's the last one there. And there's the Pachypodium densiflorum. So yeah, it's a nice warm afternoon in the greenhouse now after a very cold morning. Very cold. Got a couple of these Asprophytums graft on a dragon fruit. There's the desert rose graft. It's a 2-coloured flower, purple and red, onto just a normal obesum stock, I guess you'd say. There's the Arabicum. Every year these cordexes are getting more twistier and fatter and more interesting. There's Dr. Funk. I've got a couple in here. One in there. Another desert rose in here. I'll repot them in the spring. I'll repot them all in the spring. There's the Stenoceria spinaki. I put the Symmetrica here, Euphorbia Symmetrica, next to the Euphorbia obesa, just because there wasn't much room behind me on the Euphorbia table. But now it's almost like I can move them back, although I think they like where they are. So, you know, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it. Just let them be happy. There's a little Vishnu pup. I grafted the main head onto here. There's the main Vishnu graft. It's a good shot of the variegated Peru. He's almost outgrowing this greenhouse. When that time comes, I'll degraft it and put him in his own pot. There's a Mallow 4 cross VRG graft. There's a Mexican cross Gil Tersheki seedling grown by me graft onto PC. Lots of buds on the zygo cactus. As you can see, lots of flowers. Some little flowers here. There we go. Nice afternoon light. Down the end there it's a bit too bright, but in here it seems good. Little desert roses. There's a Black G cross PNW. That's a quite sought after little hybrid. Get on his Cortex there. Seems fine. I can actually see the blackness of his cortex. I was worried and think he was rotten and gave it a bit of a squeeze. But yeah, everything seems to be alright. Especially having that in a clear pot, you know, it's going to dry the roots out in the medium a lot quicker. Yep. Got out here, got a couple of grass. There's a little bit of splotchiness on this Tanjo. A little bit of yellow, not too much though. Not like the one in the greenhouse, but and there's another Pachyserias pringli. That one's probably starting to get close to about 800 millimeters high, I'd say. 750 to 800. There's the Euphorbia cow horns in bloom. Nice little yellow flowers. Bit of an archway with the Madagascan Ocotillo and my dragon fruit trellis meeting each other sort of on the top of the little archway. Nice. Hey, yeah. Didn't you, Roger? Roger went for a walk today, didn't you, mate? A little graft of Labivia onto this giant Ceres. Get it zoomed in. There's a Euphorbia Amac variegata. It's quite a tall Ceres. I grew that from seed, surprisingly. That was one of the ones that was supposed to be a spiralis, but I didn't really get many spirals out of them. Did we, Roger? Hey, bud? That's another one in there from the same seedling batch. Shows a bit more monstrous, I guess. Not really any spirals though. Here's a bit of an interesting one. Here's a CSD. Roger having a bit of a sniff. Oh yeah, bud. There. That's a CSD. It's quite slow growing. Quite slow growing. And I think prone to rot as well. Down here we have the Browningia, Herta something Browningia. This one's pretty interesting too. The J13 cross Kirsty. It's getting very tall, quite girthy. As you can see there, it's quite a nice cactus. A little bit of damage here and there, but it just gives it character. There's a big old Scot. It's two giant pups. Almost look like chunky fingers or something. One down there, pup down there. That's a better angle of the two. A couple of the big boys and the Monstroceras graft with the normal Monstroceras next to it. It's kind of interesting perspective. You've got the graft on the right hand side, and then around it that's just normal, ungrafted on its own roots. So it gives you a bit of an idea of grafted versus ungrafted. Here we have the tall Euphorbia amac, and the green one. Here's the Euphorbia ingens. That's the Trichoceras pachanoi huanchama. That's a Scot cross. So yeah, nice fat cactuses. There's the Scot Hulk cross DSST, Dawson short spine Tersheki, and then lastly we have a Scot cross TPM Trichoceras pachanoi monstrous, which will get there. Give him a bit of love and a bit of time. No, in a couple of years, and they'll get so tall like these things, you won't know what to do with them. This scarecrow. Here's the Euphorbia tiricale showing. In the winter the new growth becomes bright red. See if I can zoom in a bit on that. Yeah, you can see the new growth is bright red. Almost looks like coral, which is kind of interesting. I keep all my euphorbias out of the way, so as they do leak latex when they're cut or knocked. Bit of a dragon fruit trellis there, and another mallow foregraft. Enjoying the afternoon sun. There's a Lombivia graft. I turned him around. A couple of Scott Cross Tershekis. A couple of Tersheki graphs in there. There's a Scott Cross Wollondon Monster Dicoat graft. Here's the Hulk Balls, the original one. I gave it some copper oxychloride and pulled it out into a more sunnier, well ventilated position because it wasn't doing too well in the greenhouse. So hopefully a little bit more air and a little bit more light will fix him up. Oh no, Roger. Alright. Well, that's about it for today. Hope everyone's doing well. See you all later.